The first word that comes to mind is scary. My parents go to Florida for about half the year. And so my parents were in Florida. And I remember, nobody knew what was going on. So I remember going to the TV by the service department. And I looked at the TV and I panicked. And I went and I called my dad. And he answered the phone. He said, "I'm about to tee off. Is it that important?" And I was like, "Well, I think I have to lay people off." "You got it." Click. And that's essentially what started everything. So I was like, okay, like I don't know what to do, right? I've never been in this situation before, and I just had to roll up my sleeves. I remember I went to the technicians and I said, "I think we're shut down." So I had to basically lay everybody off, and I started crying. And I just excused myself just because like I said, we've talked about a little bit, these are people's livelihoods, and you pull the rug from under them. It ended up being a blessing that we're essential, and we can, we can bring everybody back, and it did give us the opportunity to reevaluate ourselves and see, what maybe expenses that we had that we didn't need to continue. So it actually kind of gave me a clean slate for running things, because I was able to say, you know what, basically, okay, all this stuff is gonna go away, and then I get to start fresh. So it was scary because you didn't know what was going to happen. I thought we had to close down, and then you have people not coming to work because we don't know how safe it is to come to work. It was just, so it ended up all working out. But yes, that expedited everything, because the succession plan was for me to take over in 2023. And that was back, when COVID was first announced. It didn't live in warm climates. So that's why my dad said he wasn't coming back. It was nice that he had the faith and the trust in me to be able to take it from where we were. But it just all happened so quickly. So I basically took over 3 years before the quote unquote plan. And it's worked out so far. So my first thoughts at the moment was obviously that I was scared, and I was like, I feel like drinking from a fire hose is a totally different level. But then on the other side, I felt a sense of pride, because in that moment, my dad was literally saying, he literally said, "You got this." And to have that faith in you that you really can take it from here and do whatever is next on the list. So there's a lot of mixed emotions. Like every other business, could not put our hands on any Lysol, any cleaning products. I think we ended up getting Clorox and mixing it with stuff. Just really trying to make sure that everybody here is safe. I appreciated them coming in, but they had to do what's best for them and their families, and you don't want to expose them and take something back. So just trying to put our hands and make sure that we are doing what we can to keep our individuals safe. Obviously, we are considered essential because people need vehicles. Like we said, we're a big fleet business, so we fix police vehicles, and people have to get on the road to get to hopefully save some other lives. And so we had just the same challenges that a lot of people did, and then once the inventory was gone, it was like, okay, now what am I supposed to sell? How am I supposed to make money to pay these bills and to pay for people to come in? So we had a lot of the same challenges. Like I said, there's always a silver lining, and I took that as an opportunity to reevaluate our business and to see, okay, what can we cut out? Obviously, we've been able to do without a lot. What can we cut out? What are we going to add back in? What are we going to revisit? So it was challenging. I had, at the time I had this is what 2020, I had a 2-year-old. I can't stay at home and then ask other people to come in and expose themselves. So I'm coming into work every day. We're all trying to get masks and cleaning supplies. And I just remember I thought to myself, I would feel so guilty if I brought this back home. I had a manager who stepped away and said, "Hey, Karen, I got to do what's best for me and my family." And I can't blame him for that. But at that time, it was like, what am I supposed to do? I'm literally, now I have to try to desk deals. I have to try to, make sure everybody's okay in service and parts. And so, like I said, It put me in an uncomfortable situation, but I think it was also good for me and for my growth. So IBM, Toyota, it's corporate. So there's a lot of layers. There's a lot of levels. Kind of, it's like more to me, like more of a bureaucratic environment. But it still showed me that, okay, there's a chain of command. It also showed me, just following up on things. So I might take a different leadership approach now than what I saw in that environment. But a lot of times your environment helps determine the type of leadership that you're going to do. So I'm more autonomous. I let the managers do what they think is best, laissez-faire maybe, and I just basically, somebody told me one time, inspect what you expect, and that's what I do. Hold them accountable. We have maybe a report card or things what numbers, what metrics we want to hit, and so you can do whatever you need to do to get there. But this is the end result that I would like to see. Definitely. So I would call my dad all the time, and he finally was like, I think that's when he realized, he was like, okay, I really am tired. So my mentor, who's Dennis Banks, so I would call him, but for the day-to-day, I would call my dad. Like I said, I called him every day. Well, I was fussing to my dad about something that was happening here, and I'm like, I said, Dennis could do it for this, for all this that we're going through. And 2 days later, my dad calls me and he's like, what do you think about hiring Dennis? I'm like, what? He's like, well, when you spoke this out of frustration, I thought about it, and I'm tired, and he's your mentor, and he's got 34 years of corporate experience, and his touch, his style. So even though he doesn't have the automotive experience, he can still guide you as you're trying to figure out the leadership role. And so Dennis has been with us now. I think he started in 2022. So he's been with us now 3 years, and it's been a blessing. So now, even though we had a informal mentorship, now I literally work with him on a side by side on a day-to-day basis, so he can mentor myself and my sister throughout hopefully the next couple of years until he decides to retire. So Dennis is an old family friend. So I think they met at church years ago. He and his wife and my parents used to run the marriage ministry at church. So we talk. We talk personal. He's a mentor, personal and professional. And I think that it's really worked out really well for us. He loves my husband, he loves my boys, and we look up to them I think they've been married, Zen 35, so they've been married 35 years. So it's been a blessing. Yeah, we met years ago. You're not gonna be everybody's favorite when you do so, but you have to just try to take your emotions out of it. And when people say it's just business, you're literally making a business decision for what you think is the right decision at that time. So we pivoted in COVID, right? Sometimes you have to pivot away from individuals. Your culture, like the people say, culture eats strategy for breakfast. So if you have somebody on your team who is a hindrance to your culture, they might be a very, very good worker, and they might generate you a lot of money. But if they're not best for your culture, you're gonna have to pivot. We've had a few tough, conversations. And I remember when Dennis, my mentor, he said, are you going to choose Pruitt over profit or profit over Pruitt? And then that's the lens that we make our decisions through. So a destination dealership for me would be anytime anybody thinks about a vehicle. It could be service parts, the actual running of the vehicle. I want them to think of Sutton Ford. That's what destination means to me. We want to be a place where people feel welcome, where they feel valued, and we understand that nobody wants to go get their car serviced. If you're walking into a dealership, you're spending money. Totally understand that. I personally don't want to go to a dealership, but that's why I want to make it a destination, because it should be a place that if you're going to go to a dealership, you don't even think about going to one of the third-party places, right? The tire shops or something. When you think of anything that's in your vehicle, you tell somebody, I want to go to Sutton Ford. It's comfortable to be in, they have good coffee, whatever it is that makes us the destination. But I think what's gonna make us the destination is the people. It's the people and that we have, because we are a family-oriented, welcoming environment. So that's why I want to be a destination. So my father's vision, he just wanted to have one dealership and just do a great job at it. And he's done a phenomenal job. And now we have 4 dealerships. But even just solely at this location, I've had to, the main difference, like you have to pivot so many times. Like he's been through recessions, he's been through cash for clunkers, he's been through so many of them. But that's why his saving strategy of how much we put aside helps you get through those trying times. COVID, we're always gonna have, he said the people that go out of business are usually end up broke. So you wanna keep a certain amount of savings for just in case something happens. The industry has shifted. We're going away from cars. We're focusing on trucks, but we're in an urban market. So it's extremely difficult for us to sell trucks because nobody wants to drive a big old truck in the city. You got to worry about parking and gas mileage. From modern, I would say, like, you know, when he started, they didn't have computers. They didn't have the internet. And one of the things that he said when in the process of taking over was like, I don't do social media. You know, you got to take this stuff because marketing and everything has evolved. So I just try my best to stay on top of what's needed. When I went and got my MBA, I tried to do like a focus on marketing because that is what drives people into your business. But I really just try to stay abreast on what's going on. I try to hire experts in the fields so that we can make sure we stay relevant. So from modern to present day, the foundation remains the same. And then it's everything else, the day-to-day business that really changes. And you just gotta try to stay on top of it as best you can. Right now we have AI. I tell people, I said, this must be how we feel now with AI, must be how my parents or business owners or whoever else felt when the internet came out. Because they were like, oh, this thing's not gonna last, or what is this? And then it actually changed the trajectory of the business. Now, with the internet, you know, I have a dealer right down the road from me who undercuts my price, and it's just a race to the bottom. So now your profit, like, you know, you don't really make money on selling new cars. And then AI is like, okay, I can market my vehicles using AI, or I can go look up, you know, about this dealership using AI. There's AI, I can get an AI receptionist. So now we're trying to figure it out. I had a little bit of resistance. I can remember a particular situation where it was around collecting money. So when we have incentives, you had to get with Ford and make sure you get the money. And I was like sitting on the phone and I was following up with the manager. Then I was told I collected a lot of money that was like aged receivables. And then the feedback was, oh, that's just because of her last name. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm showing you how I got it done, and I'm telling you to do it just how I did it, and you're not doing it how I did it. I actually think that I got this done because of the way I followed up and my experience. That was where some of that corporate America experience came in. And so that's an example of some change that people weren't necessarily ready for. You know, I don't like the way that she's running things, but it's our money, and so I don't understand why it's sitting out so long. Change is difficult. I don't even like change. When our IT guy says, oh, you got to get Windows 11, I'm like, oh no, I'm fine over here because I know where everything is. And so change is difficult, but it's necessary. So otherwise we're gonna become dinosaurs and become extinct. So for the most part, it's just really just getting everybody on board, giving plenty of notice, and then also getting that feedback. If you tell somebody that they have to change this, you're gonna be met with resistance. But if you say, hey, this is what I'm thinking, how do you think this is gonna work in your department? How can we make this work? This is the reason why I think we need to do this. Then usually once you get everybody on board and get the buy-in, it makes it a lot easier. So yeah, in moments of doubt, I really take a deep breath. We talk about breathe. You know, you take a deep breath, you have to remember your faith and in my community. So, I mean, I'm grateful that I have a husband who I can lean on, and he's like the calm to my storm. And, you know, I think about COVID, and I was just like freaking out. And he's like, Karen, it's fine. I got this. Like, I got home, you go do that. And, you know, I just had to, at that point I had to say, this is why I have a partner. This is why I have somebody, this is why I married him, first off. But also, it's your village. It's your village and your community. You have to be able to lean on people when you need it the most. No, I can't do this. I can't do this alone. And so I would really say definitely the faith. Just go back. I go back to what I feel is what my foundation is on. I had to, just during uncertain times, is, I'm with them. I feel it just as though they feel it. For example, when we have a bad snowstorm, my husband was like, "Oh, you don't need to go to work," and I'm like, "Well, my team is going to work, so I'm going to figure out how to get there," because I'm not that type of leader that has the team trudging through 4 inches of snow and putting their lives at risk to open up if I'm not going to be there. You'll see me on the lot taking snow off the vehicles. I remember jumping in a plow truck 8 months pregnant, but I wasn't plowing, but I was curious as to how the how the process worked. Why I decided to do it when I was 8 months pregnant, I don't know. I could have done that years past. And as soon as we hit the first bank, I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna excuse myself." But you'll see me out there shoveling with them. I'm never gonna be too good for any job. If I have to pick up some garbage off the lot that got missed, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna wash a vehicle. I'm going to, go support your child's fundraiser. Whatever it is, we're all in this together. Yeah, it's our core values. Personal growth, respect, urgency, integrity, teamwork. We stand by every single letter. Personal growth, just seeing some of the individuals we've had here since they were 15 years old, and they are knocking the cover off the ball. Our service manager, our parts manager, they've both been with us since they were really young. The individuals that retired, to be able to hear them say, like, working at Sutton Ford and working at Sutton Ford and what that's done for me and my family, that's why our destination is the people that we have here. We're nothing without our team members. And I just want everybody to experience them. You're gonna get a genuine smile, you're gonna get a genuine laugh, and we're here for you.